Welcome to Subramani. I'm going to talk to you about some of the questions with which all investors grapple. It doesn't matter how many years of experience you have. In fact, the greater the amount of experience, the more difficult it is for you to handle. Let us, we always assume that there will be regression to the mean. That's the safest assumption, because if you don't make that assumption, you find it very difficult to deal with funds which are not performing well or companies which are not performing well, and you do not know how to sit tight over long periods of time when that company is not performing well. So let us look at some examples. Now, companies like HDFC Limited and HDFC Bank, luckily for you or luckily for me, did not give any long periods of non-performance. I do not know how tolerant the market will be if 3-4 quarters of HDFC Bank results are lukewarm or growing at 8% or 7%. It will get ripped off simply because it's a high PE company, so the PE will go off the roof, right? Completely. Let's say, to use a typical term, it will really fall off the cliff. Now, it's not necessary that a bank or a mortgage company can grow at the same rate every year when the economy itself is not doing well. However, I don't think our markets will be that tolerant. So, a company which is not a great performer can afford to have some periods of poor performance. But remember, HUL and Reliance have also gone through long periods of non-performance, 4 years, 5 years of non-performance. Those are the times when you wonder whether you should sell off HUL and buy Colgate, because Colgate is performing very well. And then you find a few years of Colgate not performing well and HUL performing well. So somewhere you have to believe in the reversion to the mean. You have to believe that you've got shares much worse than Colgate or HUL or Reliance. So if something has to be sold, it is that shit. And you just hold on to these shares and hope. The other thing which people tell you is, if you had put, let's say, 40,000 rupees in HDFC Bank, it would have grown to what, 800 times or 400 times by now. That's great theory. Question is, would you have held on to the whole share? Suppose you had bought 1,000 shares of HDFC Bank in 1994, 1995. Would you have held on to the whole 1,000 shares? 1,000 would have become 2,000, it would have become 20,000 because of the split. Would you have held on to the whole stuff throughout your life? The answer is no, very, very difficult. If you said that you did hold on to the share, then my question is, why did you not hold on to Yes Bank? And if you did hold on to Yes Bank, you lost money. So use the same theory there and you use the same theory here. Now, the economically correct person should have held on to HDFC Bank but not held on to Yes Bank. This is very difficult unless you have some amazing information about how Mr. Puri was going to run the bank and how Mr. Kapoor was going to run the bank. Yes, some people had it, but for the common man to think he will know this is an amazing mistake. You will never know. Secondly, when things change, how much do you change? So, when you stick to a rule, are you being correct or are you being stubborn or are you being foolish? You will never know except in retrospect. For example, when I was buying Coromandel International, India's one of the biggest investors said, why are you buying a fertilizer company? With the government on one end, the government controlling the input prices and the government deciding at what price it will buy or at what price it will subsidize, there is no way how this company can make money. Just go and check the 20-year facts of this company, or if you want even further, from 2009, look at the performance of this company, right? There is no logic in what I did, but I got it right. There was tremendous logic in what this big investor told me. But well, he didn't participate. Of course, he participated in something else in which he made a lot of money. That's not what I'm saying. But this reversion to the mean is again something very funny. You do not know when it will happen. You do not know at what speed it will happen. And then you do not know whether it will happen at all. You always hope that there is regression to the mean. But what happens if it does not happen? What happens when Orke went to 180 after I sold it and just never touched any of those prices? Maybe it touched a little higher, but that's luck, right? Selling Orke and keeping Reliance was luck, because at that point in time, there was a point in time when Orke looked to be a better company than Reliance. Sheer luck that I sold Orke but kept on Reliance. So you realize how important luck has been throughout every investor's life, because you get a few calls right and then you just hold on. Like for example, in the 1980s and 90s and even today, the call is, if it's an MNC, it will be well managed, there won't be much leakage, or even if there is leakage, they will leave enough meat on the table after the hunt. So even after the line takes its share, you will get enough. So when you get into a HDFC Limited, HDFC Bank, Reliance or Supreme Industries or Murugappa Group, among the Indian corporates, or among Colgate, HUL, Cummins, Siemens, in the MNC, Nestle, the MNCs, you just hope that they will be good ethically, morally, etc., they will be good, but you're largely as a shareholder only hoping that they leave enough meat on after the hunt, which means the line takes its share. And because you're not a lion, you're not the guy who's going and creating the company, you're not the person whose company is listed, you are just a small investor, shareholder. So you're at best a jackal, vulture, or whatever you want to call yourself. You're not creating the hunt, you are just eating. So you only hope that the lion, after eating its share, will leave enough on the table for the small shareholder. And that's where you take your hats off to all these companies. Not only did they pay their interest and the installments to the institutions, they also rewarded the small shareholder. That is what distinguishes them. Now I've written about some more things. How do you know whether you are being disciplined or being foolish? So the question is, when you pick up a share like Coromandel, or a company like even Hero Motors, or a company like HDFC Bank, and suppose HDFC Bank starts falling tomorrow. It falls $100, it falls $150, it falls $200. You say, oh, now this company is finished, should I sell out? Or do you still say, no, regression to the mean, same thing, blah blah blah, the company will revive, the company will do well, it will continue its 30% year on year top line growth and bottom line growth, there's nothing to worry, right? What happens if this time it is really different, right? It is John Templeton said the most dangerous words are, this time it is different. But what really happens if this time it is really different, right? We are not prepared for some of those things, or we prepare for it very slow. What if the media keeps on coming out with stories saying this is the problem, this is the problem? Will you believe it? Because I know some MNC brokers are trying to get a mandate there, and they would do anything with the press to make sure that bad things get written about HDFC Bank. Will that change the PE? Are you being stubborn, or are you being foolish, or are you ahead of the curve, or are you absolutely idiotic in holding on to HDFC Bank if it really falls? No clue, right? So those are all things which you leave to chance, and you say, oh, regression to the mean will happen. Let me just check some more things which like they say, how useful it is to know what has happened in the past in the same company or in similar companies. Now there has been no company like HDFC Bank with a 25% year-on-year growth for 25 years. Do you know whether IDFC will be the next HDFC? Very difficult to guess. Markets are definitely far more difficult. And remember, HDFC got all this growth without going abroad much. So maybe IDFC will go abroad. Maybe Indigo will make more money because it is going abroad. So you don't know those, you don't know how to judge those things, right? That's the problem. So yes, regression to the mean. Yes, you can watch the management and your own ability to watch the management. For example, I'm more convinced that I get much better quality information from the analyst tracking that company than I can ever get by reading the balance sheet of the company. Immaterial of what happens, there is something which the analyst always knows. So if you don't know the analyst who is analyzing that company, I would never have picked up shares like Abbott or Ipca about 2 years ago. Never crossed my mind that I should even look at them. It requires a pharma analyst to tell you that these companies are perhaps better than some of the other companies which you're holding, right? So that's luck, knowing the right guy. So I've rambled on enough. Thank you.